Okay. All right. So, what we're going to do today is talk about Article 2, Section 1 of the Constitution and figure out what the requirements are to be President of the United States. So, I know that we all have an education already. So, does anyone have any ideas about that already? Like, what do you need to be President? Is there anything they've all had in common? Anything that you already know?
Education.
An education, that's good.
They all seem old.
They all seem old. Good point. Our current president is our oldest president.
They already have like some kind of political background or like government experience.
Government
I
experience?
feel like that's not always true, but yes.
Okay. All right. Fair. What about our current president? Does he have any current political experience?
I'm actually unsure.
No, we don't know.
That's a really good
we
point.
don't
You're
know.
unsure. I mean, he's been living for so many years. But, okay. So, good. We all have like a background on the president. We know who he is, what he does, all of that. So, what I want you to do right now is brainstorm some ideas of people you would like to see run in 2020. Like, who do you think should be president? Doesn't have to be, you know, someone who's already announced, like Cory Booker or something. Like, who would you want to do it? And just, you know, your perfect world, who's going to be president? And as always, on cue, I'm going to play music for when it's time for you to talk. And when I turn it off, it's going to be back time for me to talk. So I'm going to give you about 1 or 2 minutes to brainstorm as a group people you'd like to see be president in 2020. All right, let's go.
All right. I personally would like to see a woman become president, just because, you know, there's been so many women in the news lately that have been so influential, and I think it would be really good.
I agree with that. I like that.
My favorite is Miss Cauley. I think she's a fantastic teacher, and I would love for her to be president one day.
That's great. That's great. Women power.
She's also Ellen. I think she's awesome.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a really good one, actually. Michelle Obama would be pretty good, even though I know she said she would never do it, but
She did.
she did. Yeah. I think that would be good. I feel like she would be amazing. And then I really like Ellen. That was a good one.
Ellen, right?
That was a
That's
great
awesome.
one.
I don't think she has government experience.
No. Yeah.
I guess you don't need it.
I'm trying to think. I feel like obviously it would be ideal if we could have a woman president. It would be new and exciting.
All right, just for a
Oh my
second,
goodness.
I want y'all to still brainstorm. I just want to throw out there that I want a list, you know, a good compiled list of maybe like 6 or 7 people.
Okay,
So you don't
that's
have
a
to
lot.
come up with your favorite, just like you can like spit them out to me. So I'll give you another like 30 seconds to a minute.
Great.
Thanks.
But we have to have some men in there too.
Right.
So
I really like hearing this group talk a lot about women. It's a great idea. Good. Something
Good.
we've never seen before.
Yeah, who's a really good man that I feel like would just do such a great job?
yeah.
Gary's Rucker.
I was gonna say Jimmy Buffett would be a really good president.
That's good.
It'd be super chill.
Yeah. Or Michael Scott in The Office.
Oh, absolutely.
Is there any military people that we know that's like famous, that are famous?
I don't
like,
know.
I don't know.
I wish I was more up in.
I know,
Yeah,
I
I
know. Because you don't really think about military except for like McCain. I mean, he
And
was.
Chad could be the president.
I was almost gonna say that, like Chad.
That's good.
Yeah.
I don't know any guys that would take over the women right now.
All right, guys, wrap up your last thoughts.
Except for.
Right, wrapped up?
Yes.
All right, you think you got a good list going of who we think you should be? Let's go for it. Just shout them out to me. Who did you say?
We said Ellen.
Ellen DeGeneres.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I can't spell DeGeneres.
Just put D.
Yep,
in.
that's
Yeah, we got it.
ErinMorileeCauley.
ErinMorileeCauley. Thanks, guys.
That was a really good one.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
Yeah. Anyone else?
We also said Michelle Obama.
Yeah.
Michelle Obama,
Yeah.
lit.
Yeah.
We said Jimmy Buffett.
I also vote Chris
Jimmy
Pratt.
Buffett. Okay.
I like Chris Pratt a
Oh,
lot.
Chris Pratt is awesome.
Cool.
I just think he has a really good head on his shoulders, and every time he speaks, I feel like it's very genuine and also very like logical and to the
Yeah.
point, and I like him a lot.
So actually, this is just throwing this out there, but Kendra Scott, and because I heard her backstory and how she got divorced and she was like
poor and she didn't know what to do and she had no money and she had a family and then she just like was an
that's a
entrepreneur
good
and
one.
grew her own business from her own basement and now she's like a multimillionaire.
Ooh, clearly that's a really good point because like that's things that we care a lot more about in like now's times,
Right.
whereas before that wouldn't have been like something that people would have thought of for their president, you know,
Right.
especially as a woman. But-
What about Drew Brees? I think he'd be a really good
Drew
president.
Brees. Someone's clearly a Saints fan.
Who's the Saints quarterback?
Can't relate.
though. He's a
He
great
seems really nice, but he's not my favorite. Okay, let's get one more just to finish out this piece of paper. Anybody?
Let's do Tom Brady now that we're on like a really good.
Okay.
Well, he has a ton. I love
Okay,
it.
Caitlin, I'm gonna respect your decision, and we'll write Tom Brady down.
Thank you.
Okay.
However, he is not.
However, he's not my president. Okay, now that we got this list up here and you can visualize it and we've compiled it, we're gonna go based on what we already know. If you think they are qualified, yes or no, I'll give them a green or a red on that. So let's make a group assumption. Ellen DeGeneres, is she qualified to be president?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I mean, she's on TV, she has influence. I mean,
Education, I'm not sure about, but
we're not sure about her
And
education.
she gives to the community like
Yeah.
crazy. She is doing so many foundations all over the world. I absolutely
Well,
love
like,
her show.
Qualification.
Right.
Yeah, let's do it.
and I
Yeah.
think people respect her, so I feel like yes.
Yeah.
Okay, people do respect her. That's a good point. All right, can I be president? I have an education.
You do have an education.
You're not 35 yet.
Okay, so Caitlin knows the requirements in the Constitution.
Wow.
Someone has been to school before, which I mean is fair because you're an adult. All right, so you're saying no. Is that the only reason I shouldn't be
That's
president?
the only reason right now. This second.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
I am, in fact.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Just wanted to make sure.
But Caitlin's already just thrown me under the bus, and I am going to be a X. All right, Michelle. Can Michelle be president?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Let's all hope she runs. She keeps saying she won't, but
You don't know.
all right. Let's go with yes. Jimmy Buffett. Would he be president? Other than the fact that you guys just want to live in Margaritaville.
Man, 5 o'clock somewhere always.
I think yes.
I think yes.
You think yes?
No. I
Alright.
mean,
But I
You
don't
think
know
he's
his-
qualified?
I don't really know his background too well,
Yeah.
education wise, and anything else.
He
But
knows
wise.
how to
again,
make
based
a
on the
mean
current
margarita.
president, I feel like the requirements are like I think he's qualified.
Right.
I
All
think
right.
technically he is qualified.
Yeah.
All right. Let's
I
go.
think our current situation has really broadened our eyes to who can actually
Yeah.
run president.
That is very true. Like
Yeah.
this is a
Like I
very
would have
different
never
thought.
thought somebody in like
Yeah.
the TV world
Mhm.
would ever become president.
Very
like,
true.
if we had done this a couple years ago, I think our
We would've been
answers
like,
would
"That's
be
so
different.
funny."
Yeah.
They would be very different, and
Yeah.
even like it took a really long to see a woman run. Like people wouldn't even
Mhm.
think of women.
Yeah.
You know, so, all right, Chris Pratt.
I don't know about his education at all.
Yeah.
You know,
But he
until he
is-
was on the OC, I didn't know much about him either.
He
Yeah.
was on the OC.
He was in season 4.
And Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
Parks
yeah.
and Rec for days.
How
Alright.
old is he?
Jurassic Park.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Wait, he's gotta be in his 30s.
He's got to be in his
But
30s.
is
I'd say he's probably like 35. or
Yeah.
whatever.
Okay.
We're gonna give him the green.
But
We're gonna
does-
go ahead.
We don't know his education though, but I
I'm
guess
gonna say he's not.
Okay, we're gonna give him the big old no.
Let's
Okay,
get
yes.
another red up there.
Okay, Kendra Scott. I don't know
Yes.
much about Kendra Scott other than she makes great earrings.
She's definitely older than 35, I would
She's
think.
definitely-
100%.
Does she have an
And
education?
I just don't know her education background, but considering she's so intelligent enough to start this multi-million-dollar business from her like basement out of poverty, like I said yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Erin's voting for Kendra Scott no matter what. Does she have to be on the ballot to vote for her? Just sidebar?
No.
No.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
you
can
can
write
vote for
her
any
in.
time you want.
Yeah, you should.
Kendra
All
write
right.
her in.
Scott.
There was a lot of
Next
write-ins
election.
in the last election for Harambe, the
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Alright.
yeah.
Mickey Mouse, Santa Claus, and Donald Duck are actually very common people to have a lot of votes
Interesting.
because people
That is
just
so
write them in.
bizarre.
That is so smart when you don't want to vote for anyone else.
But then
Yeah.
why go vote if you're just gonna write?
Because it's your right as an
Like
American
Mickey Mouse?
citizen. Maybe you want, here's the thing, people really focus a lot on presidential elections, which we are right now since that's the objective of the day, but you might want to go vote because of the local elections also on your ballot, or if you're really concerned
Right.
about the senators or
Something else.
whatever else. All right, Drew Brees.
He's definitely qualified.
Okay.
I don't know
I don't know.
about them, Drew or Tom.
Let's take out the vote. Raise your hand if you want Drew Brees. Oh, it looks like that's a no. Sorry.
But he's qualified.
We don't know that. Just because he has a good arm.
No, he went to school. He's older and he has a great arm.
All right. Someone loves Drew Brees. Tom Brady.
I think he's also qualified.
I think that he's
You know what?
America's everyone loves him.
Nobody.
No one loves him but you.
Do you
He's
not
the greatest football player of all, quarterback of all time.
I beg to differ.
Okay, we have a lot of opinions about football. But you know what is a really good point?
he break
I
a
know
record?
for a fact
Drew Brees broke 1 million records.
that Jocelyn hates Tom Brady and she still said
I don't
yes.
even
I
like
still
the
think he's
Patriots.
qualified to
Okay.
be president.
Okay.
Yes.
And you know what's so funny is I don't even like him or the Patriots. I just know everyone loves him.
All right.
Nobody loves him.
So we have our ideas, class.
Nobody. Sorry.
Okay. We have our ideas, and we only talked about what we already know and our ideas of what you need to be president, not the actual facts. Lost that one. So I'm gonna have you guys in pairs, so Erin and Jocelyn and Caitlin and Ashley, read over and talk about the actual Article 2, Section 1 of the Constitution. It's 4 paragraphs. I want you to read it through and be able to explain the main idea to me. I'm gonna have group 1, Erin and Jocelyn. First 2 paragraphs, explain those to me. Group 2, the second 2, but still read the whole thing, please. I'll put the music back on, and that will be your time to read. Once I get it going. Technology, you know. And there we go. All right. You're gonna have about 5 minutes to get through this.
How is it his pay? How he gets paid? I think it's talking about how much he gets paid.
Yeah.
I know. There really aren't that many qualifications. Compensation is what he's getting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there's not even that education on it. What does that mean?
I think it's still increased, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Sorry that it made it seem like the music had stopped, but I want y'all to keep going. Sorry, guys.
I don't know what that word means either.
He needs equality in there. Yeah. Oh, that was easy. Right, that's what I'm thinking.
But it doesn't increase
Or to make it the set cost. This is always going to be like this. Right, that's what I think. Or it cannot be increased or taken away. What's that word mean?
What does this word mean?
It means as long as you're saying you have to understand it's proportion.
Maybe it has to have with
Like K? Yeah, okay.
the passport thing.
Thank you.
Erin told me to use my context clues. Context clues are good.
Alright, what you guys? Any struggles?
We're ready, I think.
Yeah, I think we're ready to.
The only part I don't understand that Johnson was explaining was it says for a citizen of the United States, but then it says you have to have lived here 14 years. I don't know how those.
Alright, so you can be born in America.
And that's enough for a citizen.
And then what if you decide you want to go live in Peru?
Oh, so you.
I couldn't be president because I lived in a different country for 3 years.
You have to have been here
14 consecutive years.
Wow, that's interesting. I did not know that. All right, everyone seems to have wrapped up. You guys are fast readers. Okay, let's get after it. So, group 1, with the first 2 paragraphs, summarize that for the rest of us, please.
Sure. So the main idea of the first paragraph is basically just stating that the president and vice president are elected into office as a team and for the term of 4 years.
Okay.
And then the second paragraph is saying that you need to be a natural-born citizen to be the president, and that you need to be at least 35 years of age and a resident, so living in the United States for 14 years.
Okay, great. So
3 main things from that
3
second
main
paragraph.
things that you need.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy. I thought there was way more.
Yeah. All right, these two.
So we have the last 2 paragraphs. The second to last pretty much says that he's going to get a set compensation, which is pay, and that it cannot be taken away or increased. That's just what he gets during the time of his presidency.
Okay.
And then the last paragraph is just saying he takes an oath and he just has to uphold the Constitution.
All right, so we've got the 3 requirements: elected with a vice president, compensation, and they take an oath. Literally 4
It's nothing.
small paragraphs doing the whole thing. So all the stuff we had thought before, maybe not necessarily true. So I know, like, through this list, we spent a lot of time on, do they have an education?
Right.
Is that required in the Constitution?
No.
No. So, like,
Wow.
you don't have to have any
That's
kind
so
of college education. Yes, ma'am.
As far as the residency for 14 years, does that mean that you can't go travel for an extended amount of time, or
Okay, so it would be taking up residency in another country.
so like with a visa? Or
Yeah,
something?
so you can travel for sure. I mean, obviously we know that
Right.
our last few presidents, I mean,
Been
have,
all over.
for one, come from a good, wealthy family
Mhm.
and have had those opportunities. So you can travel, you're just not becoming a citizen elsewhere.
Okay.
Speaking of wealthy, that's another thing that we've noticed in past, like, in our lifetime, they've all come from a good amount of money, but that's not required either. You can just be anybody off the street. So let's go back to our list and see if we got them right or wrong, and get back at it. So of the 3 things, 35 years in age, citizen of the United States, born here, and lived here the last 14 years. Ellen,
Yes.
what do you guys think?
Definitely.
Yes?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, she's still a yes. 2 greens. 2020, Ellen DeGeneres. Miss Cauley. No. What am I missing?
You're not
Right.
35.
All right, but the other 2 I've got, right? So I was born here, I was born in North Carolina, and I've never even been to another country. So the day I turn 35, I'm completely eligible to be your president, despite the fact that I don't have any political science knowledge, degree, and never held office before. All of that, don't have, the wealth for the super PACs, but I would be eligible to be the executive power of this country. However, I am not 35. Fortunately for me right now.
Cauley 2028.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wow.
All right.
Math.
All right. Yeah, we'll know who to go to for math homework later. Okay. Michelle Obama.
Yes.
Yes. I am actually reading her book. She is from Chicago. So we know Chicago is in America. She lives here. We definitely know she was living here the past 8 years. And she actually lives in Washington, D.C. right now. Very close by in the Colorado neighborhood. And I really want to run into her one day.
Cool.
All right. Jimmy Buffett.
Yes.
Yeah. So he's clearly old enough. The man's been doing music for a while. Also an American. Also been here this whole time. Though Key West seems really far off the coast, it is part of America. Chris Pratt. Is he 35?
Yeah, we don't know.
I'm going to give Miss Longo here permission to be on her phone because I did have to take it earlier, and I want you to look it up for us and find out how old he is. Give us a little research. All right, so before we had our cell phones, how would we have found out? Wow.
Computer.
Fair. In our lifetimes, we've always had the computer.
We had the computer.
So we could
Before
just
that.
give us a little, Google search.
Don't know.
I don't know.
We would have had to been a lot of reading, a lot of
A
research.
lot of reading.
Would there be books written about Chris Pratt?
Good point.
I don't know.
But before, with all the media, would there have needed to be books written about Chris Pratt?
That's true.
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just a thought about research and historiography.
Yeah.
All right, Erin.
He is 39.
39.
But is he Canadian?
Is he?
Yeah, I don't know. Is he?
Wow, that's a good question. To be fair,
Is
is he Canadian? A lot of people are that we don't really know.
Like Justin Bieber. We
Justin
should've put him
Bieber,
up there.
Canadian.
Place of birth, Virginia.
Okay, so yes.
Well, okay, that's America.
Well, is this Virginia or Minnesota? There must be a town in Minnesota
All right,
called
yeah.
Virginia.
Okay.
That's still
Also
U.S.
You know
double
what?
yes.
Actually, Erin, I want you to look up Ellen. Is she from America?
Is she?
Okay, let's
You
I
really blowing my mind with this
I
Canadian
definitely
question.
think she's from Louisiana.
I think
New
you're right.
Orleans.
Well, I know she has a house there.
Yeah,
but
I
don't know
think
if
she's from.
Well, we were
Yeah.
wrong.
Was I right?
Metairie.
Woo!
Louisiana.
Ellen, 2020.
All right, cool.
She is pretty cool.
All right, next one. This is going to go back to our expert Erin on this, since she is the nominee of Kendra Scott. Is she meeting all of our requirements?
All right, let's see.
Sometimes you got to do a little extra research.
Kendra Scott's 44, and I'll get her birthplace.
44, solid age. Seems qualified.
Oh, Kenosha, Wisconsin. I know
All right.
a lot about Kenosha.
All
I thought you
right.
were gonna say some other country. I was getting excited.
Drew Brees.
Yes.
Now we have found out he is qualified. We thought maybe education would play an aspect because we didn't
So
know
he
this.
is.
He
Yeah,
is
he is.
educated.
Very well.
All
He's
right.
Qualified.
Qualified.
Told you guys.
So if he runs, who's voting for him? I thought so. All right,
I
and
think he's gonna be the governor of New Orleans next.
the governor of Louisiana.
Whatever.
And in New Orleans, he could be the mayor or something.
That's what I
We'll talk about the
Maybe
different
we need to
stages
do
of
that.
government later. Yeah. You know, federalism,
That's
federal,
what we need to
local,
do.
state, all of that, how we all work together.
Yeah.
That will be coming up in this unit as we talk about governance.
Okay, good.
Tom Brady.
Yes,
Yeah, it looks like yes.
sadly.
He
all
should
right.
be the governor of Massachusetts.
So guys, I hope he's not the governor of Massachusetts. Not a big fan, but
The
you know what?
mayor of
Who am I to say? That's democracy, right? So we only got one of them wrong, so great job. We were doing pretty good before. Two of them wrong, I guess. The Drew Brees thing just seemed very personal as an attack, and I'm sorry.
I know it did. He was totally a qualified person.
All right. So now that we've done that, let's decide who we want to actually do it. Democracy.
I bet
Ellen.
Ellen.
I'm going with Michelle.
All right,
She
so-
would actually run.
All right.
I
We're
love
going
Ellen.
with
I know.
3 Ellens, 1 Michelle. Democracy. We're gonna have to go with Ellen.
Ellen DeGeneres 2020.
We got a winner. But how about me later, right?
Right.
Oh, 2028. I already know who to vote for.
Okay. So, objective of the day when we started the class was that we will be able to talk about the 3 requirements of being president. So, to make sure we all got it, let's put that in one concise sentence. So, how should we begin that?
Are we summarizing the whole?
Just summarizing the 3 requirements. Good question.
Oh, okay. Well, at least 35 years old.
So,
Okay, so we need to include that,
so
yes.
the president of the United States has to be at
The
least
president of the United States has to be, that's
at
good.
least 35 years old.
Okay.
The 3 requirements.
Ooh, okay, we got another one.
Ooh,
I like that.
that's better.
Okay, so we already know what we're getting into with the sentence before
Yeah,
we get
right.
there.
Yeah.
Okay. The 3
No
requirements
need to recap on that.
yeah. to be president.
Are as
All right.
follows.
So we have are as follows. Do we need to say president of what?
Of the United
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so do you think presidents of other countries have the exact same qualifications?
No,
No,
yeah,
probably
so
not.
requirements
All right,
of
let's make sure we
president.
say United States. Of the United States are? Yeah.
Are
Let's go.
to be 35
Yeah.
years of age.
3 requirements to be president of the United States
35
are-
years of age.
Are.
Yeah, let's change this a little bit.
Okay, are
The 3 requirements to be president of the United States are
I would say to
an
be-
age limit of 35. Is that sound
Yeah.
right?
how is it written in the Constitution?
You shall have attained to the age of 35 years. So just write age of 35.
Yeah, age of 35.
An
years.
age of 35?
Yeah.
Are holding an age of 35.
Be at least 35? I don't.
This is awkward.
Okay, so we can say
The requirements to be president of the United States are an age of.
An
because
age
it
of
should be a
35?
noun.
I think so.
Yeah, an age of 35 years. Yeah.
A status of natural born citizen.
An established 14 years of residency.
A residency of
An established 14 years of residency.
Yeah.
And natural born citizenship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
All right, so we have the 3 requirements to be president of the United States are an age of 35 years, an established 14 years of residency, and natural born citizenship.
That's great.
Does that answer our question of what we need to know?
Yes.
Is anything you think missing from this?
No.
Okay, so that's all there is, right?
Yes.
So all the things that we think there must be, education, money, any of that, not part of the Constitution, not in the values of our original American founders. But what is something that they all have had in common?
They've all previously
Celebrity
been
status.
they've all been in the Senate.
They have not all been in the Senate.
No.
Male.
They've all been male.
Yeah.
They have all been male. But does it say he anywhere? Does it say it has to be a man?
No.
Okay, so any of us can do it. I know we've all been born here. I've known all of you guys. So any of us can do it. And you don't have to have a certain level of education is another thing. I know that our last few have all gone to like an Ivy League or something like that, but not necessary. And so that is all we have for that article. If we're going to follow up on this later, that question I asked about other countries, that would be some stuff to think about. What's leadership look like elsewhere and how does that compare to the United States government? And I will leave you with that. So thank you for the class, and I hope that you learned something.